I'm Tamara, and this is Anything is Possible. Welcome back. I wasn't able to post yesterday because I had to take a long drive to a town called Ocotlan. I took Wookie for his usual walk in the morning. So almost as soon as I brought Wookie home, I had a little breakfast and headed out. I needed to go to Ocotlan, which is, it's over an hour drive from here, heading towards Guadalajara, but then you kind of veer south from there. Do my final appointment to get my RFC, which it's sort of like a social security number here in Mexico. They track you. Supposedly everybody is supposed to have one. Everyone that's a resident here, permanent, temporary, or, an actual citizen, so that they can track all financial transactions that happen. So it is required if you want to buy a car, open a bank account. I even ran into it when I was trying to get a factura when I got my MRI done, and the doctor that did the MRI said I needed to have an RFC for them to release it. Well, I told them I was in the process of getting one, but I hadn't gotten one yet. So they actually did produce a factura for me, which you need if you're going to file an insurance claim, which I haven't yet, and I'm hoping I can avoid surgery on my shoulder. But anyway, long story short, I needed an RFC. And I went through the process of applying, which you do on their website. And I'll link down below to an excellent video by Q RuPaul. Things have changed on the website just a little bit, but not significantly. Once you put in what state you live in, then they narrow it down to where the locations are that you're supposed to show up to get your photograph and fingerprints done. And I could have gone to Guadalajara, but it actually is can run into significant traffic there. So I had a friend that recommended I go to Ocotlan, and so I thought, well, hey, that'd be kind of interesting to check out a different area. And so that's what I did. I signed up to go there, and they assigned me a time, which was supposed to be at 11:55 yesterday. And then you click on a link to confirm that appointment, and I clicked on the link, and that was the end of it. So I put it on my calendar and drove there yesterday. And I'm not exactly sure what happened, because I did click it on the link, but it was supposed to get back to me with a confirmation and a letter to confirm the appointment, and I guess some sort of instructions, but I didn't know I was supposed to get that. So I just figured all systems were go, and I tried to call the day before because I found a phone number for that office there, and it was kind of a lengthy message, completely in Spanish, and I could not understand what it was saying. So then I tried even sending a message to that phone number on WhatsApp, and I'm sure they don't respond to WhatsApp. So nothing ever happened there. And I looked all through the website to see if I could confirm the appointment, and put in all of my information in my CURP and, everything. And there was no way to confirm when my appointment was. So I thought, well, I'm just going to have to go. So that's what I did. I drove, and I got there, and I parked, and I got there a little bit early. And then I went in and found the office and went up and, showed them the printout of the appointment that I had. And she goes, did you get a confirmation? Of course, in Spanish, but luckily we have Google Translate, and she had her phone. So she was able to get the message across that I was supposed to get this confirmation. And I said, no. And she showed me the list of appointments. She goes, you don't have a confirmed appointment. And I was like, oh, I drove all this ways and took a huge chunk out of my day to get there. But, no, that's, government office. They're not going to make exceptions just because you drove for an hour. Probably happens a lot. So she told me to go back and try again. But, and this is something that's really interesting, you cannot use the same email. The system won't let you to apply for an appointment a second time. Now this seems really kind of strange to me. They want you to have this number, but their system doesn't always appear to work, and you can't use the same email. So I dredged up an old email name, and that's pretty easy to set up another email and applied again. And now, when you apply for an appointment, you don't hear anything. I mean, they just say, we'll let you know, because what they do is it's this automated system that puts you in a queue for that particular office, and then they message you to let you know when the appointment is, and that's when you have to click on this link to confirm, and you're supposed to get a letter. So I don't know if it went in yesterday after I reapplied with this other email or not. There's no way to tell. But I'll sit here and wait for a while, and hopefully I'll get an email from them to tell me, when I'm supposed to show up again. And I will definitely click on the link and hopefully get a confirmation letter from them, and then I will take 2 on that whole thing and drive back out to Ocotlan. But anyway, it was an interesting drive, and I was frustrated when I left, and I had kind of intended to look around the town some and do a little exploring, but by the time all of that was done, I just kind of felt like getting home. So I just got in my car and started driving back, and then Google Maps sent me, oh my gosh, it was way out in the country. I wasn't the highway I was supposed to be on at all, but I didn't get lost. It was just, I don't know why they sent me out on this little country road. It was pretty. It's very dry here right now, and so, things are looking a little crispy, except for the agave fields, which are this beautiful blue, just make everything look kind of pretty, even though it's most of the grass and everything, the fields are all brown and dried up right now. But the thing that kind of made up for it was when I got back to the corner where the libramiento that I take to cut off going towards San Antonio to Tlacopan. There's always a man there selling fruit, and I pulled over because he, came to my window, and then the light turned green. So I veered off, parked along the side of the road, and I got a big container of blackberries, a container of blueberries, and some uvas, grapes. But that kind of made up for having it's kind of a bummer day, but it felt good to get out too, so I can't say it was horrible, but I just didn't accomplish what I needed, and I still have to try and hope the system works the next time so I get I get my RFC. There's all kinds of transactions that are financial where they require to have an RFC, and you're just dead in the water if you don't have one. So I just wanted to say that, there are certain things here in Mexico where the system doesn't work quite as smoothly as you might hope, but usually people are very nice. The woman at the office for the RFC was extremely pleasant and apologetic, and explained exactly what I needed to do. So, patience is required. If you get mad, it's just going to make things very unpleasant for everyone. It's much better just to sort of take a pragmatic view of it and say, well, try again. There's nothing that can be done. So today, I needed to get into Chapala to pay my electric bill. And they just opened up a recycling center in this beautiful park there called Christiania Park. So I thought, well, I'll grab my recycling and go pay my electric bill. And I just decided after yesterday I just needed a day to wander around and enjoy the beautiful lake. It was so peaceful and so beautiful there. There's almost no people today because it's middle of the week. Weekends, there's a lot of people. Anyway, so I'm just going to take you on a little tour of Christiania Park. You know, what's interesting about Lake Chapala is most people that live everywhere from, I would say, Chapala all the way down to Ocotlan, and even on the other side of the lake, that they are looking across the short side of the lake. The lake is actually very long, and a lot of people don't even realize how far it goes. I have a neighbor who, you know, she's been trying to walk a certain number of steps every day because she goes, well, if you walk any less than that, it doesn't do any good. And I'm like, I think walking any is better than not walking at all. But she goes, I walk all the way to the end of the lake and back. And I'm like, no. I wasn't going to disagree, but people don't realize this lake is so big. And the long direction is, you can't even, most of the time, you cannot see the other end of the lake. So it's a huge lake. And from Christiania Park, there's often these very large waves that come in from the winds, almost like an ocean, you know. I mean, not as much enough to surf, but certainly, you know, significant waves. And I just love it. It's just beautiful, and I love looking down the length of the lake because it makes you realize what a huge expanse of water it is. On my trip yesterday, I realized that coming up over the hill and down towards Guadalajara, there was a lot of smog. And I had never really noticed before how smoggy Guadalajara is. And I've been kind of looking to see maybe I wanted to live in some section of Guadalajara because there's so much going on there all the time. Most places that I can afford are high-rise apartment buildings, which I'd be giving up a yard and a nice spacious house. So I think I'm probably not going to end up moving there, and just seeing all that smog was kind of cinched the deal for me. I would much rather live near the lake where I can see the water. The air is really pretty good here most of the time. I look at the air pollution index here is really excellent most days. So I think I'm going to end up still living by the lake. I hope you have a good week. I'll see you next time. And that's it. Bye.